Today, I'm gonna trade favors with the purple belt. If you haven't seen my video about starting jiujitsu, I picked it up 11 months ago at 40 years old with no previous martial arts training, and it was hard, very hard. This is the learning curve that I've gone through. I spent the first 5 months in what I like to call the why am I doing this zone. But these days, I've moved into the enjoyment zone where I'm starting to see some results. I've taken up other activities where it's much easier to learn the basics, like rowing. I remember when I first got this rower, I was excited to start, but it became clear pretty quickly that it would be a long road to getting really good at rowing.
You can work on your technique, but really, how much technique is there to rowing? Not a lot.
I also made the mistake of looking at the world records for my age group.
For men 40 to 49, the 4-minute record on one of these things is 1,387 meters, and I did 1,009.
Okay, so 37% more distance doesn't sound like that much, but when you nerd out a little bit like I did, you'll find out that it actually takes more than 2.5 times the power output to achieve that extra bit of distance.
Forget rowing.
Thankfully, jiu-jitsu is more complex and interesting and less about pure athletic ability. And I'm sure I'm gonna go through more difficult periods over time, probably producing a learning curve that looks a little more like this. And yeah, now I have a couple of moves that I can actually remember when I roll, but when an opponent can defend against those, I'm still pretty easy to beat. The higher belts that I train with seem so far ahead of me, it almost feels like it'll be impossible to ever close that gap. And I don't even really know how to start looking at my overall jiu-jitsu game to make it better. But I'm hoping that maybe a roll with John will help. But first, I gotta help him with something. Yo, what door are you?
Oh, no, that was last night.
The first thing I noticed when I walked into John's place is that the walls are all painted purple. Is that like a flex because he's a purple belt? I mean, all the walls in my house are painted white. Turns out it isn't a flex. John's an actor, and apparently the purple makes his dashing good looks even more dashing.
Yeah, well, purple is very good for like
contrast.
Oh yeah. They're very good for blue eyes.
I'm there to help John with an audition tape, which I can't tell you anything about because apparently, if I do, one of us will get sued.
Yeah, they will destroy you. It's basically...
I did my best to absorb the details of the scene so I could really nail my one line, which I can't share with you because one of us will get sued.
Okay, cool. All right, that's fine.
And no, shirtless John is not another flex, it's for the role. We finished the audition tape, and personally, I think John nailed it, so keep an eye out for him in an upcoming, oh no, I can't tell you, because I'll get sued. While John edited his super secret audition tape, we chatted a little bit about jiu-jitsu. John's been doing jiu-jitsu for at least, I think, 5 or 6 years now, and he had some pretty good insight about competition and progression.
A blue belt can beat a purple belt at a competition.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Here I was thinking that if I was gonna compete, I wanted to maximize my chances of winning. And John just had a much more mature view on the whole thing.
And for me, it's like, getting the experience is good, you're just adding knowledge to your kit.
Yeah. I convinced John to put his shirt back on so we could get to class and get to my side of the favor.
Point with the...
Right.
Yeah, fair.
Unfortunately,
Our lunchtime classes are more cardio focused. They're still technique based, but with a lot more reps. Doing these classes for months has really improved my fitness, but by the time we get to some sparring at the end, I'm still usually pretty white.
which I should have thought about before I asked John to roll with me after class, but I guess that's just another part of the learning curve.
We're gonna roll until one of us taps out. I've never submitted John before. So my goal is just to survive as long as I can. But sometimes you can surprise yourself. Sometimes things just come together. The moves become natural. You don't have to think about them. They just happen, like a reflex or an instinct. You become a weapon. Unfortunately, this was not one of those times.
You didn't really think I was gonna beat him, did you? We rolled a couple more times, it was basically the same result. But what I can tell you is that rolling with John and getting it on tape has been way more helpful than I ever thought it would be. I've watched that video over and over and over and over now, and it's amazing to see all the things that are going on that I just don't notice while I'm rolling. It reminded me of when I was a kid and I used to make skateboarding videos with my buddies, and it was so valuable to be able to watch something and see what you were doing wrong and use it as a tool to get better. John and I had a little discussion about it afterwards, and he gave me some really positive feedback.
It was good, man. Like I was trying to sweep it some into it. Good job, huh?
Make sure you comment below if you liked this video, subscribe if you haven't, share it with a friend, and I'll see you again soon for some more jiu-jitsu, or maybe some other kind of adventure. Who knows? All right.